영장이 발부되고 또 영장 심사권이 없는 법원이 체포영장과 압수수색 영장을 발부하는 것을 보면서 그리고 수사기관이 거짓 공문서를 발부해서 국민들을 기만하는 이런 불법이 자행되고 무효인 영장에 의해서 절차를 강압적으로 진행하는 것을 보고 정말 개탄스럽지 않을 수 없습니다.
After months of back and forth and several rounds of failed talks, mediator Qatar has revealed that Israel and Hamas are at their closest point yet to a ceasefire and hostage release deal. Now, reports indicate that Hamas had accepted a draft agreement for a ceasefire in the Gaza Strip and the release of dozens of hostages. Officials have expressed mounting optimism that a deal could be reached ahead of the January 20th inauguration of US President-elect Donald Trump, whose West Asia envoy has joined the negotiations. However, back home, Netanyahu faces an uphill task. This as Israeli far-right police minister Itamar Ben-Gvir threatened to quit his government if he agrees to a Gaza ceasefire and hostage release deal. Listen in.
I believe we will get a ceasefire. And whether we get there in the remaining days of our administration or after January 20th, I believe the deal will follow closely the terms of the agreement that President Biden put forward last May and our administration rallied the world behind. We believe that the Palestinian Authority should invite international partners to help establish and run an interim administration with responsibility for key civil sectors in Gaza like banking, water, energy, health, civil coordination with Israel. The international community would provide funding, technical support, and oversight. The interim administration would include Palestinians from Gaza and representatives from the PA, selected following meaningful consultation with communities in Gaza, and would hand over complete responsibility to a fully reformed PA administration.
Tulip Siddique has resigned from her position as a minister in the Keir Starmer Labour government. This comes after weeks of headlines linking her to financial benefits from her family's political connections. Now, Siddique, who served as the economic secretary to the Treasury and City Minister, faced accusations of corruption. These charges were notably pushed by figures like Mohammad Yunus in Dhaka, who used her resignation to target her aunt's government. Reports highlighted Siddique's ties to Bangladeshi businessmen, alleging they gifted her properties in an attempt to gain favor with Hasina's government. The UK has relaunched free trade agreement talks with India, aiming to elevate their bilateral relationship. In Parliament, British Indian MP Jeevan Sandhed highlighted trade and green technology exchanges as key focus areas between the countries. Foreign Secretary David Lammy noted his plans to invite India's External Affairs Minister to the UK. He emphasized a refreshed comprehensive strategic partnership with New Delhi. The UK-India trade relationship, valued at a staggering $42 billion, is set to grow with the resumed FTA negotiations this month. It has been paused since 2024's election. Leaders aim to use this partnership to tackle global warming and deepen economic ties. US President Joe Biden has signed a new executive order aimed at speeding up the development of artificial intelligence infrastructure in the United States. The ambitious move is designed to enable the rapid construction of large-scale data centers and clean power facilities, both critical for supporting the growth of artificial intelligence technology. The order directs federal agencies to accelerate AI infrastructure development on government sites while ensuring developers meet new requirements and safeguards. It also pushes for federal sites to host AI data centers and clean power facilities with support for connecting them to the electric grid and streamlining the permitting process. NATO is stepping up efforts to protect undersea cables in the Baltic Sea. The alliance's Secretary General, Mark Rutte, announced the launch of a new mission called the Baltic Sentry. Now, this operation will deploy frigates, maritime patrol aircraft, and naval drones to enhance surveillance and provide greater deterrence. NATO Secretary General has also emphasized the critical importance of these undersea cables, which carry over 95% of global internet traffic. Spanning a whopping 1.3 million kilometers, they secure an estimated 10 trillion in daily financial transactions. Russia's foreign minister is speaking out in support of US President-elect Donald Trump's stance on the ongoing Ukraine conflict. Sergei Lavrov welcomed Trump's signals just days before he takes office, highlighting the incoming president's pledge to bring an end to the nearly 3-year-long war. Trump has expressed skepticism about continued US military support for Ukraine and has even voiced understanding of Russia's concerns regarding NATO. At a press conference in Moscow, Lavrov remarked that the growing conversation around the realities on the ground in Ukraine is a positive shift.
Трамп, став президентом, сформулирует окончательно свою позицию по украинским делам, конечно, мы будем ее изучать. Все то, что сейчас говорится, это говорится в рамках подготовки к инаугурации, в рамках подготовки к серьезным делам, как сказал сам Дональд Трамп, в рамках подготовки к въезду в офис. Он понимает, что сначала нужно заселиться в овальный кабинет.
The Princess of Wales has revealed she is in remission from cancer after making an emotional return to the hospital where she received treatment. In a message posted on social media, Catherine spoke of her relief and said she remained focused on recovery. The first class of Syrian police cadets since the ouster of President Bashar Assad graduated on Tuesday from the newly reopened police college in Damascus. Now, the police college began accepting applications shortly after insurgents toppled Assad last month, ending decades of his family rule that was known for widespread surveillance, arbitrary detentions, torture, and deaths of real and perceived opponents. Osama Muhammad, a military official at the police college, said the country's new leadership under the Islamist group Hayat Tahrir al-Sham has been working on restructuring Syria's military and security forces. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Armenian Foreign Minister Ararat Mirzoyan signed a Strategic Partnership Commission charter on Tuesday. Now, the charter sets forth a framework for economic and security cooperation, strengthening democracy, justice, and inclusion, and increasing people-to-people exchanges. Listen in.
Marks a significant milestone in the relationship between the United States and Armenia. We're establishing our U.S.-Armenia Strategic Partnership Commission. This commission gives us a framework to expand our bilateral cooperation in a number of key areas. Economic matters, security and defense, democracy, justice, inclusion, and people-to-people exchanges. Each of these is a shared interest that forms the bedrock of our relationship and our partnership.
As Haiti continues to struggle with a surge in gang violence, the government on Tuesday swore in Mario Andresol as the new State Secretary of Public Security. Now, Andresol, who served as Director of Haiti's national policy nearly 20 years ago, has pledged to crack down on gangs and crime, including weapons and drugs trafficking. Joining Andresol was Haitian Prime Minister Alex Filzame, who said he was taking responsibility for placing, quote-unquote, the right people in the right places to protect Haitians and provide security. 9 individuals have been charged with looting in the Los Angeles area, including a group that stole an Emmy Award from an evacuated home. In another case, a pair took over $200,000 worth of goods from a wealthy neighborhood. Meanwhile, 3 people were arrested for arson after attempting to set fires outside disaster zones. Authorities also report rising incidents of price gouging for hotels, rentals, and medical supplies, as well as scams soliciting donations for fake relief efforts. A thick fog blanketed Delhi and surrounding areas this morning, causing major disruptions at the airport, train stations, and on the roads. At least 7 flights have been cancelled and 184 others delayed, while 26 trains are running late. New Delhi Airport has advised passengers to stay updated about their flight status, as low visibility in affecting landings and takeoffs. Budget airlines Indigo and SpiceJet have also warned of delays and have urged passengers to check flight statuses regularly. Meanwhile, the road traffic has also been slowed due to poor visibility. A particularly dangerous situation warning was in effect for parts of Southern California on Tuesday morning, with officials warning that strong wind gusts mixed with low humidity would create extremely critical fire weather conditions. 4 large fires are currently burning in the Los Angeles and Ventura counties. Now, this is according to the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection. At least 24 people have been killed in the fires and more than a dozen still remain missing, officials have underlined. Those numbers are of course expected to rise. More than 12,000 structures have been damaged or destroyed. As we speak, around 88,000 people remain under mandatory evacuation orders as well. It's time we slip into a short break. I'll see you on the other side.
With retirement round the corner, I want to spend more time with my family and less time worrying about the numbers. Which reminds me.
Welcome to British Seniors, the UK's #1 rated provider of over 50s life insurance.
Hi, I'd like a quick quote.
No problem. We're proud to offer our seniors lifetime guarantee. With 100% of claims having been paid, we guarantee your premiums will never go up and that you'll speak to one of our specialists in the UK. UK residents aged 50 to 80 are guaranteed to be accepted. Depending on your age, your loved ones can get a cash payout up to £10,000.
And that money could help with funeral costs or even as a gift for the grandkids. I'll do it.
Plus, when you sign up, you'll receive a £135 gift card and free 24/7 GP advice and health services.
You got them all right, that's amazing.
Be proud to protect your loved ones with British Seniors. To get a free quote today, call our UK team on 0800 977 5808 or visit britishseniors.co.uk.
I'll fix him, love. Poor pet. Just shows you never know what's going to happen. Which reminds me, I need to protect the life we've built. That's why I'm looking into Smart Family Life Insurance. Hi, I'd like a quick quote, please.
OK. You can choose a benefit amount up to £750,000, depending on your age. If you're a UK resident aged 18 to 64, you can apply with just a few health and lifestyle questions. For £250,000 of cover, the price starts at just £14.77 a month.
That's less than I thought. And it could help my husband with the mortgage.
Just like families, not all life insurance is the same. That's why we offer the Smart Family Guarantee.
That's good to know.
You'll also receive a 100% advance in the event of terminal illness and 10% cash back on your first year's premiums. That's the Smart Cashback. Plus, you'll also get your choice of a £125 gift card.
Protect the life you've built the smart way. To get a free quote today, call our specialist UK team on 0800 977 5753 or visit smartinsurance.co.uk.
Health isn't someday in the future. It's now. It's same-day GP appointments. Physio without GP referrals. Cancer testing, scans, and diagnosis fast. Questions for an expert at any hour about anything. Routine dental checkups every year for brighter smiles. Support that lasts for as long as it takes. Feeling your best every day starts today. Call or go online now for your quote.
Welcome back. You're watching the World Report on NDTV. In a major legal move, the US Securities and Exchange Commission is suing Elon Musk accusing the billionaire of failing to disclose his growing stake in Twitter. According to the SEC, Musk's delay in reporting his purchases allowed him to buy shares at artificially low prices, saving him an estimated $150 million. Under SEC rules, investors who buy more than 5% of a company's shares must report it within 10 days. Musk, however, reportedly waited 21 days, that's more than twice the time, before making his filing. In response, Musk did not hold back as usual, calling the SEC a totally broken organization in a post on X. Economists have said that devastating fires in the Los Angeles area are likely to put modest pressure on the U.S. national economy in the near term, but are unlikely to derail strong forward momentum. Forecasters reckon the fire's destruction of property and job market disruptions could put upward pressure on inflation as they also slow growth and put a modest brake on hiring, although not at a large enough level to fundamentally change the outlook. The U.S. Treasury Department has said that the government posted an $87 billion budget deficit in December, reducing partly by a shift of benefit payments into November, but capping a record $711 billion deficit for the first 3 months of the 2025 fiscal year. The Treasury, releasing its final budget report before President-elect Donald Trump takes office next week, said that $711 billion October to December deficit was a $201 billion or 39% higher than the $510 billion deficit in the same period a year earlier. This as outlays grew sharply and revenues declined slightly. Meanwhile, US President-elect Donald Trump's nominee to head the Transportation Department will tell a Senate committee on Wednesday he aims to ensure worldwide trust in US plane maker Boeing. This is after a 2024 mid-air emergency. According to reports, Sean Duffy, a former US House lawmaker, has said, and I quote, "I will work with Congress and the FAA to restore global confidence in Boeing and to ensure our skies are safe." The dollar's towering rally hit a speed bump on Wednesday as traders turned cautious ahead of a closely watched US consumer inflation report due later in the day, making them hesitant to take on new positions. Now, the greenback was stabilizing in the early Asian session after failing overnight and edging away from more than a 2-year peak hit against a basket of currencies at the start of the week. Its decline came in part due to a tame reading on US producer prices, which pulled Treasury yields off their highs. ByteDance's own TikTok plans to keep paying US employees even if the Supreme Court does not overturn a law that would in fact force the sale of the short video app in the US or ban it. The company's leadership said in an internal memo reviewed by Reuters on Tuesday. Now, the hugely popular platform is owned by China-based ByteDance and has around 7,000 employees only in the US. Last week, the US Supreme Court seemed inclined to uphold the law, which was passed in April last year, despite calls from US President-elect Donald Trump and lawmakers to extend the January 19 deadline. The tribunal has ruled that Apple and Amazon have successfully fought off a mass lawsuit in Britain over alleged collusion between the tech giants to remove resellers of new Apple products from Amazon's website. The lawsuit was brought by consumer law academic Christine Riefa on behalf of around 36 million British consumers who had bought Apple or Beats products. According to reports, Microsoft is planning to halt hiring in parts of its consulting business in the US in a bid to cut costs. The tech giant is looking to manage overall expenses as it looks to continue investments in its AI efforts. Earlier this month, Microsoft said it planned to invest about $80 billion in fiscal 2025 on developing data centers to train AI models and deploy AI and cloud-based applications. A half-dozen trader groups from the semiconductor and manufacturing industries sent a private letter to US President Joe Biden complaining that the new export controls expected this week were rushed through without consulting them. The Biden administration, for perspective, on Monday released regulations on where computing chips from NVIDIA, in fact, can be placed around the world, setting up a three-tier system in which most nations will need to obtain licenses to build AI data centers with US chips. OpenAI is stepping into the virtual assistant space, introducing a new beta feature called Tasks for ChatGPT. This tool allows users to schedule future actions like reminders for concert ticket sales or daily updates on weather and news. ChatGPT can also suggest tasks based on user interactions, though users can choose to accept or decline them. With this move, OpenAI aims to compete with established virtual assistants like Siri and Alexa, as Amazon has also updated Alexa with generative AI capabilities to keep pace in the ever-evolving market. The US House of Representatives has passed a bill that would ban transgender athletes, in fact, from competing in women's and girls' sports at federally funded educational institutions. The vote, 218 to 206, was largely along party lines, with two Democrats joining Republicans in support. House Speaker Mike Johnson called it a win for women's rights, saying it aligns with fairness and common sense. The bill, titled the Protection of Women and Girls in Sports Act, seeks to amend Title IX to restrict transgender female athletes from competing in women's sports. However, viewers, similar legislation failed in the Senate last year and faces an uphill battle in the current Democratic-led chamber.
It's estimated that more than 700 female athletes have been displaced by males in their women's sporting events. And that has resulted in more than 1,000 estimated medals, records, and scholarships intended for women going to men. My own daughters competed in sports as they were growing up, and I can only imagine the anger I would feel as a dad if they had their trophies stolen from them. But that's indeed what many women are facing today. And it's not just anger, it's fear. Biological men competing against women also poses a threat to the safety of our girls. It's dangerous, it's unfair, it's a rejection of reality, and it is just plain wrong. But today, the House voted to uphold common sense again. We voted to require all schools receiving federal funds to uphold the original meaning of Title IX and keep biological men out of women's sports.
Golf legend Tiger Woods took on a new challenge, making his debut in the tech-infused Indoor Golf League, or TGL, co-founded with Rory McIlroy. Though his team, Jupiter Links, suffered a heavy loss to Los Angeles Golf Club, Woods enjoys the fast-paced format, saying it brought a fresh twist to the game. TGL hopes Woods' star power will attract young audiences to the sport. Meanwhile, India kicked off the inaugural Kho-Kho World Cup 2025 with a thrilling 42-37 victory over Nepal at the Indira Gandhi Indoor Stadium in New Delhi. Led by Pratik Vaikar, India dominated early, wrapping up Nepal's top defenders in just 60 seconds. The tournament, featuring 20 men's and 19 women's teams, is backed by the Indian Olympic Association and runs until Sunday. The Australian Open witnessed its first major upset in the women's draw as Olympic champion Zheng Qinwen was defeated by unseeded Laura Siegemund in straight sets. Meanwhile, top seed Arianda Sabalenka overcame a tough second-round match to advance. Tokyo Olympics champion Belinda Bencic and Jessica Pegula also secured their spots in the next round after brief rain delays. Socialite Paris Hilton has raised $800,000 for victims of the fires burning in and around Los Angeles. Hilton's representatives said Tuesday that the socialite and entrepreneur has donated $150,000 specifically for families displaced by the Eaton fire that destroyed large parts of the Altadena neighborhood. She lost her home in the Palisade fire and has been volunteering and raising money through her 1111 Media Impact Foundation to help those displaced since this weekend. Hilton helped pack items for families for charity Baby to Baby, and also is volunteering time at the Pasadena Humane Society, which has taken in many animals affected by the Eaton fires. Singer-actor Jessica Simpson and her husband, former NFL player Eric Johnson, have separated after 10 years of marriage. Now, the pair, who tied the knot in 2014 after 4 years of dating, shared 3 children: Maxwell, Drew, Ace Nooch, and Birdie May. Well, that's all we have for you today. Take care and have a wonderful day.
It's gonna take a lot to drag me away from you. There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do.
Liam transferred all his outstanding balances to his Barclay card, giving him 0% interest on all his surprises for Sarah. What you buy is your business. Helping you pay less interest is ours. Barclay card. Make money work for you.
Time's up, fad diets. Life's too short to only eat grapefruit, hard-boiled eggs, cabbage soup. Ugh. Ditch the diet shakes, measuring tapes, and vibrating plates, and break free from fad diets with Voi. With its combination of clinically proven medication, personalised health app, and one-to-one coaching, join the weight loss revolution today at joinvoi.com.
What they don't tell you about getting older is how much fun it can be. Enjoying all the things you've worked so hard for. Spending time with the people that really matter. Not to mention, finally finding that precious time for yourself. I don't want anything taking my best years away from me, but like so many people, I've seen the heartbreak that dementia can cause. That's why I'm asking everyone to order this essential free guide from Alzheimer's Research UK. It's called Your Brain Matters. We all know what's good for our heart and our lungs, but do you know how to keep your brain healthy too? Well, this guide tells you how, in 7 steps you can start taking right now, whatever your age. Just ring the number on screen to get your free copy. Inside, you'll find facts and tips that can keep your brain healthy and help reduce your risk of developing dementia. It's advice you can really trust from leading dementia scientists. Read it, keep it, and check back whenever you need to. Order your free copy now. Call Alzheimer's Research UK on 0800 035 5984 or text BRAIN2 to 78866. Think of it as another way of planning for your best years, because your brain really matters.
And the leap that India has taken in this space. Prime Minister Modi took to social media platform X ahead of the event and said commissioning of 2 Made in India warships and a submarine would strengthen the efforts towards being a global leader in defense and augment our quest towards self-reliance. Of course, Prime Minister Modi is in Mumbai, but later on he will also be inaugurating the ISKCON temple in Navi Mumbai, spanning 9 acres. This temple is poised to become Asia's 2nd largest ISKCON temple. But also NDTV was on board the 3 new combatants. Watch this exclusive report by my colleague Sujata Dwivedi.
This January, be a part of history as the Indian Navy commissions the destroyer Surat, stealth frigate Nilgiri, and submarine Vakshir, together at Naval Dockyard Mumbai in a landmark ceremony presided over by the Honorable Prime Minister. Built by Mazgon Dock shipbuilders, each a tribute to Atmanirbhar Bharat with unique operational capabilities. Nilgiri is a revolutionary design with a flush forecastle, signal suppression techniques, and a super rapid gun mount with smart ammunition. Surat, with her size and strength, is a floating fortress. And Vakshir, one of the world's most advanced submarines. Together, they embody a credible, cohesive, future-ready, and above all, combat-ready force.
You won fire.
Tomorrow's Navy, today.
The Indian Navy commissioned its final and fourth warship, that is INS Surat, of the 15B program where we are currently present. INS Surat is said to be one of the first in many aspects, and this was sanctioned in 2011 at a cost of rupees 29,700 crores, and Surat's keel was laid on 7th November 2019, and now that you see the ship has finally been commissioned, and warship has been called the first in many aspects with a length of 164 meters and displacing 7,500 tons. Surat is one of the largest surface combatants to be built indigenously, along with many AI-enabled applications that have been built internally by the engineering department. And also one important feature that INS Surat compiles of is that there are a lot of aspects and a lot of mechanisms that has been built which is of Make in India program. And as we know that the Atmanirbhar Bharat, which has been followed by the Indian Navy diligently, is now the ship has been a part of it with a potent and steadfast focus and a versatile platform capable of blue water operations across the spectrum of the naval warfare in all dimensions, that is the air, surface, subsurface and electronic.
I totally endorse what they say. So they say that we are the final ship of the P-15 Bravo class, and we all say that crew is together in saying that we are the latest and the best. Yeah, it's a very good feeling. It is with a great sense of pride. I stand here at the time in command of this wonderful warship. We have the best crew, we have the best equipment, best weapons, best sensors, best of everything.
At present, I'm standing at the newly commissioned and iconic INS Nilgiri that you see, with its stealth design, the low IR signature, as well as the modular construction, which makes it the first major warship to be built using integrated modular construction, a manufacturing process in which multiple modules, or we may say so blocks, of a vessel's hull are pre-assembled, and after which it has been performed. If you look at the weapons that have been kept here along with the controllers, it has been manufactured in a format where it makes it stronger and one of the strongest warship that the Indian Navy at this point possesses.
So it's a momentous day. I think history has been written today, and we are very, very proud of the ship Nilgiri, which is first of the class of P-17 Alpha.
And the final submarine of the project P-75 of the Indian Maritime has finally been commissioned along with INS Nilgiri and INS Surat. At present, I am here at INS
Wakshir, and you see that this is also called as the steel shark of India for the very right reasons, speaking about how this particular submarine has led to its, if we talk about its materials that has been used, and also for present, if I try to show you the visuals here, you can see that how be it the entire INS Wakshir being equipped with advanced diesel electric technology and air independent propulsion, also enabling it prolonged underwater operations without surfacing much, which makes its presence even more secretive, and its stealth capabilities make it nearly undetectable in the ocean.
Well, switching tracks now, of course, let's listen in to what the Prime Minister had to say about these three naval ships that have been inaugurated by the Prime Minister in Mumbai.
साथियों, आज भारत पूरे विश्व और खासकर ग्लोबल साउथ में एक भरोसेमंद और जिम्मेदार साथी के रूप में पहचाना जा रहा है। इंडियन ओशन रीजन में भारत की उपस्थिति, भारत का सामर्थ्य एक बहुत बड़ा आधार है। साथियों, पिछले 10 साल में जिस तरह भारत की तीनों सेनाओं ने आत्मनिर्भरता के मंत्र को अपनाया है, वो बहुत ही सराहनीय है। हमारी सेनाओं ने 5000 से ज्यादा ऐसे साजो सामान और उपकरणों की लिस्ट तैयार की है जो अब वो विदेशों से नहीं मंगाएगी।
आईएनएस सूरत, आईएनएस नीलगिरी और आईएनएस वागशीर यानी एक डिस्ट्रॉयर, एक फ्रिगेट और एक सबमरीन की एक साथ हो रही हिस्टोरिक कमीशनिंग सिर्फ इंडियन नेवी की ही नहीं बल्कि आपके नेतृत्व में इंडियन ओशन रीजन में भारत की बढ़ती ताकत का भी यह प्रमाण है। साथियों, वैसे तो इंडियन ओशन रीजन में हमेशा से जियो स्ट्रेटेजिक और इकोनॉमिक दृष्टि से यह रीजन महत्वपूर्ण रहा है, परंतु आज के तेजी से बदलते हुए परिवेश में यह और भी महत्वपूर्ण हो गया है।
In other news, Meta has apologized for Chief Mark Zuckerberg's comments about the NDA losing the Lok Sabha polls in 2024. This comes after IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav fact-checked Zuckerberg on social media. Meta has responded to Ashwini Vaishnav's post where he called Mark Zuckerberg's comments on Indian elections disappointing. Meta termed Mark's comments on Indian loss an inadvertent error and went on to highlight India's importance to the company. Remember, the apology comes after Meta was summoned by the Parliamentary Standing Committee on IT on grounds of spreading misinformation. Let's get you some international news now, and that is impeached South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol, who was arrested today. An anti-graft agency investigating his December 3rd martial law attempt said in a statement. In South Korea, investigators have taken drastic steps to reach the residence of the impeached president. Reports say they used ladders to scale the walls of his compound after encountering resistance from his security team. More than 3,000 police officers and anti-corruption investigators gathered at his residence before dawn in order to push through throngs of supporters and members of his ruling People Power Party protesting attempts to detain him. He's the first sitting president in South Korea's history to be arrested. Yoon is wanted for questioning in multiple investigations related to his short-lived declaration, including over accusations of leading an insurrection, a crime punishable by life imprisonment, or even the death penalty following his arrest. Yoon released a pre-recorded video message in which he said he dismissed these investigations into him as illegal and said that the law is all broken in this country.
안타깝게도 이 나라에는 법이 모두 무너졌습니다. 수사권이 없는 기관에 영장이 발부되고 또 영장 심사권이 없는 법원이 체포영장과 압수수색 영장을 발부하는 것을 보면서 그리고 수사기관이 거짓 공문서를 발부해서 국민들을 기만하는 이런 불법이 자행되고 무효인 영장에 의해서 절차를 강압적으로 진행하는 것을 보고 정말 개탄스럽지 않을 수 없습니다.
After months of back and forth and several rounds of failed talks, mediator Qatar has revealed that Israel and Hamas are at the closest they've ever been, the closest point yet to a ceasefire and hostage release deal. Reports indicate that Hamas has accepted a draft agreement for a ceasefire in the Gaza Strip and the release of dozens of hostages. Officials have expressed mounting optimism that a deal could be reached ahead of the January 20th inauguration of the US President-elect Donald Trump, whose Mid-East ambassador has joined the negotiations. However, back home, Netanyahu faces an uphill task as Israeli far-right police minister has threatened to quit Netanyahu's government if he agrees to a Gaza ceasefire and hostage release deal.
Israel and Hamas appear to be on the cusp of a ceasefire deal that would end over 15 months of war. Hamas officials say they've accepted a draft of the proposal. The Israelis say there still is no deal, but they're also voicing optimism as final details are being worked out. Qatar, the Mideast country that's been mediating the talks, say the sides have not been this close to an agreement in months. The proposal lays out a multi-stage process for ending a war that has killed over 46,000 Palestinians, 1,600 Israelis, and also caused widespread devastation in Gaza. The first stage calls for a gradual pullback of Israeli troops from most of Gaza over 6 weeks in exchange for the freedom of 33 hostages held by Hamas. Displaced Palestinians would also begin to go home, and aid would pour into Gaza. The sides also would quickly enter negotiations on a second phase meant to end the war altogether. That would mean a final pullout of remaining Israeli troops and the return of roughly 70 other hostages. Now, it remains unclear who will run Gaza in the long run and who is going to pay for the badly needed reconstruction. But negotiators are hoping that this initial ceasefire, this initial phase, will create the momentum to address these deeper issues.
In a major legal move in the US Securities and Exchange Commission in suing Elon Musk, accusing the billionaire of failing to disclose his growing stake in Twitter. According to them, Musk's delay in reporting his purchase allowed him to buy shares at artificially low prices, saving him an estimated $150 million dollars. Under the rule, investors who buy more than 5% of a company's share must report it within 10 days. Musk, however, reportedly waited 21 days before making his filing. In response, Musk didn't hold back, calling this a totally broken organization in a post on social media site X. And Tulip Siddique has resigned from her position as a minister in Starmer's Labour government. This comes after weeks of headlines linking her to financial benefits from her family's political connections. Siddique, who served as the economic secretary to the Treasury and the city minister, faced accusations of corruption. These charges were notably pushed by figures like Muhammad Yunus in Dhaka, who used her resignation to target her aunt's government. Reports highlighted Siddique's ties to the Bangladeshi businessmen, alleging they gifted her these properties in an attempt to gain favour with Hasina's government. Despite her close friendship with the UK Prime Minister representing a neighbouring constituency, the controversy over these alleged gifts made her position untenable. The United Kingdom government has told Parliament that the Free Trade Agreement, the FTA, talks with India have been relaunched in order to deliver a joint ambition of taking the bilateral relationship to even greater heights. During a debate on UK economic growth in the House of Commons, British Indian Labour MP Jeevan Sundar asked Foreign Secretary David Lammy about the steps being taken to get a good UK-India trade deal over the line. FTA withsaw negotiations paused to the elections. They were paused because of the elections, is set to resume, potentially boosting the £42 billion trade. A particularly dangerous situation warning was in effect for parts of the Southern California area on Tuesday morning, with officials warning that strong wind gusts mixed with low humidity will create extremely critical fire weather conditions. 4 large fires are currently burning in Los Angeles. At least 24 people have been killed in the fires. More than a dozen remain missing. The officials have said that those numbers are expected to rise. More than 12,000 structures have been damaged or destroyed. Around 88,000 people remain under mandatory evacuation orders. Russia's foreign minister is speaking out in support of US President-elect Donald Trump's stance on the ongoing Ukraine conflict. Sergei Lavrov welcomed Trump's signals, but this is just days before he takes office, highlighting the incoming president's pledge to bring an end to the nearly 3-year-long war. Trump has expressed skepticism about continued US military support for Ukraine and has voiced understanding of Russia's concerns regarding NATO. Lavrov said that growing conversation around the realities on the ground in Ukraine is a positive shift.
Когда президент Трамп, став президентом, сформулирует окончательно свою позицию по украинским делам, конечно, мы будем ее изучать. Все то, что сейчас говорится, это говорится в рамках подготовки к инаугурации, в рамках подготовки к серьезным делам, как сказал сам Дональд Трамп, в рамках подготовки к въезду в офис. Он понимает, что сначала нужно заселиться в овальный кабинет.
NATO is stepping up efforts to protect undersea cables in the Baltic Sea. The alliance, this is the alliance's Secretary General Mark Rutte, who has announced the launch of a new mission. This operation will deploy frigates, maritime patrol aircraft and naval drones to enhance surveillance and provide greater deterrence. The NATO Secretary General has also emphasized the critical importance of these undersea cables, which carry over 95% of global internet traffic. Spanning 1.3 million kilometers, they secure an estimated $10 trillion in daily financial transactions, highlighting NATO's commitment to safeguarding key infrastructure in an increasingly interconnected world. US President Joe Biden has signed a new executive order aimed at speeding up the development of artificial intelligence infrastructure in the United States. The ambitious move is designed to enable the rapid construction of large-scale data centers and clean power facilities, both critical for supporting the growth of AI technology. The order directs federal agencies to accelerate AI infrastructure development on government sites while ensuring developers meet new requirements and safeguards. It also pushes for federal sites to host AI data centers and clean power facilities with support for connecting them to the electric grid and streamlining the permitting process, as AI technology, including popular chatbots and also generative tools, demand increasingly powerful computation. The order aims to keep the US competitive in the global race for AI in advancement. More than 1 million people have been forced from their homes in Haiti amid a sharp upswing in gang attacks in the country's embattled capital, is what the United Nations had to say. The United Nations Migration Agency has said that they never before have seen such a large number of people in Haiti who have been reported to have been displaced by violence. More than half of those internally displaced people, IDPs, were children who were bearing the brunt of Haiti's security breakdown. Many had been displaced repeatedly. The Princess of Wales has revealed that she's in remission from cancer after making an emotional return to the hospital where she received treatment. In a message posted on social media, Catherine spoke of her relief and said that she remained focused on recovery, adding as anyone who has experienced a cancer diagnosis will know it takes time to adjust to a new normal. She announced in September that she had completed chemotherapy. The Oscar nominations are being pushed back almost a week from their original date. Amid the ongoing California wildfires, nominations will now be announced on the 23rd of January. The 97th Oscars will still happen on the 2nd of March at the Dolby Theatre as planned with a live television broadcast. Oscar nominations were postponed in 2021 during the COVID-19 pandemic, and the ceremony itself was also delayed. The disastrous flooding in Los Angeles in 1938 led to a delay, but in 1968, due to the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and in 1981, it was put off for 24 hours after President Ronald Reagan was shot. The 67th Annual Grammy Awards will still air on the 2nd of February despite the ongoing California wildfires. The Recording Academy announced the show will go on, but now with an effort to raise money for wildfire relief. Critics' Choice Awards, which were to take place on the 12th of January, have been pushed to the 26th of this month. Beyonce has contributed $2.5 million to a newly launched LA Fire Relief Fund created by her charitable foundation, Be Good. Now, last week, Beyonce's mother, Tina Knowles, had shared that her Malibu bungalow was destroyed in the Los Angeles area fires. Paris Hilton has raised $800,000 for victims of the fires burning in and around Los Angeles. Hilton's representative said on Tuesday that the socialite and entrepreneur has donated $150,000 specifically for families displaced by the Eaton fire. She lost her home in the fire and has been volunteering and raising money through her 1111 Media Impact Foundation to help those displaced. Paris Hilton also helped pack items for families for the charity Baby to Baby. Comedian Jay Leno served food to Los Angeles County firefighters, and this really comes just after Leno visited rescue crews stationed at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. The Los Angeles area wildfires weighed heavily on the minds of the cast of A Complete Unknown as Timothée Chalamet and Edward Norton at the London premiere of their Bob Dylan biopic. This took place on Tuesday. Chalamet sang and learned to play the guitar and the harmonica in order to embody Bob Dylan, playing and singing 40 songs in Dylan's unmistakable crowd.
Don't you have Watchdog Lock? No! What's that? Don't be a victim, yeah. Get Watchdogs, 3-star solid secure diamond locks. They are anti-pick, anti-snap, anti-bow. बोले तो fully anti-chore. जब तक जोड़ेंगे नहीं, तब तक छोड़ेंगे.
You could save money on your energy, broadband and mobile bills and feel more protected when you switch to a better deal. Switch and save now at uswitch.com.
Now I'm retired, I can spend more time with my grandson. I'm proud of him and want to help any way I can. Which reminds me.
Welcome to British Seniors, the UK's #1 rated provider of over 50s life insurance.
Hi, I'd like a quick quote.
No problem. We're proud to offer our seniors lifetime guarantee. With 100% of claims having been paid, we guarantee your premiums will never go up and that you'll speak to one of our specialists in the UK.
Well, that's good to know.
UK residents aged 50 to 80 are guaranteed to be accepted. Depending on your age, your loved ones can get a cash payout up to £10,000.
And that money can help with my funeral costs or even be used as a gift. I'll do it.
Plus, when you sign up, you'll receive a £135 gift card and free 24/7 GP advice and health services.
Thanks, Mum, for everything.
Be proud to protect your loved ones with British Seniors. To get a free quote today, call our UK team on 0800 158 552 or visit britishseniors.co.uk.
Health isn't someday in the future. It's now. It's same-day GP appointments. Physio without GP referrals. Cancer testing, scans, and diagnosis fast. Questions for an expert at any hour about anything. Routine dental checkups every year for brighter smiles. Support that lasts for as long as it takes. Feeling your best every day starts today. Call or go online now for your quote.
Our first year as a family flew by. And now, I want to make sure he'll be financially protected for all his birthdays to come. That's why I'm calling Smart Insurance.
Hi, how can I help?
Hi, I'd like a quick quote for family life insurance.
OK, you can choose a benefit amount up to £750,000 depending on your age.
That's great.
If you're a UK resident aged